Hello, weather fans. Dr. Palermo here in the home office Tuesday afternoon, September 11th, recording with a bright sun shining outside the window now as Hurricane Florence barrels toward the coast at the speed of a baby carriage. It's quite likely that we're going to get some bad weather this week. I hope that you have I hope that you're safe and dry. If your school is affected, I hope that, again, everyone is safe and dry. I hope that you'll have some electricity and internet access and be able to do some graduate work this week. But I'll be monitoring the situation, and I'm glad that we're not supposed to meet this weekend. Anyway, I'm recording my video for week 3, September 12th through 18th, starting with some shout outs from week 2, some great posts about mindsets, folks. Anne and Judith and Alicia, thank you for your comments and sharing your mindsets. Clarification, a mindset is a habit, a disposition that Naisbitt suggests allows folks to better see future trends, where things are going. And part of the idea with theory development in this theory development module is for you to get a larger, bigger, higher view of the school as organization and where things might be going if we can analyze social and economic and cultural trends, which is part of the idea too. So a habit is a mindset, not necessarily an instructional strategy or something like that. One other clarification, again, one of your other post was about CNA resources and stuff. And I really love the conversation there because you're helping one another, and that's a wonderful thing. But you should at this point know who you need to turn to, whether it's a system principal or a school improvement chair or whoever, and what to ask for in terms of student achievement data, teacher perceptual data. There was a question about teacher quality data. In North Carolina, on the report card, it is reported as a number of teachers with master's or advanced degrees, number of teachers who are national board certified, percentage of teachers in the building who are fully qualified. That is what it means, at least in our North Carolina standard, to be, that's teacher quality. So that's the kind of stuff that we might be looking for there. And I hope that that information is readily available for you, but if it's not, do a little digging and find the percentage or number of teachers at your building who have advanced degrees or are highly qualified in their field. That's last week, and going forward again for this week, you have text readings to do. You have Collins, Good to Great, and again, this is a little pamphlet more than anything that I've read multiple times now. I think you could stand to read it. The big Collins takeaway that I constantly quote, so it must be meaningful to me, is number 3, get the right people on the bus and get them in the right seats. But that is the third one, and if you will take a look at Collins, again, his original book, Good to Great, was written for businesses. This is written knowing that schools are not businesses, and that lots of social organizations, which he defines as organizations with a social mission, hospitals, boys and girls clubs, schools, a little K-12 boys and girls clubs, NASA, Marine Corps, NYPD, charitable organizations that depend on public dollars or charitable donations are different than businesses. They're not profit driven, and so they have different missions and need to be judged differently. So that's your big takeaway this week. Take a look at issue number 1. Defining great, what are the metrics that we use? Results in efficiently delivering on our mission is Collins' definition of issue number 1. But again, you have to determine, in your CNA, you're determining what metrics are important. Student achievement ought to be in that list somewhere. So anyway, I'm going to tell you about some of these books and some of these other books you're going to do text facilitation on yourself. But we're moving on with Naisbitt and Good to Great. You are to read chapters 1 through 7 in Grunert too. An easy little read, and the big takeaway here is know this book now. If you do not have a perceptual survey of teachers, you certainly can use the cultural survey in here with your teachers and add that to your OA1 data. In OA2, semester 6, you're going to circle back to this book and to these surveys, and you'll be asked to use them or others like them in your OA2. Not now, not OA part 1 this semester, but again, look at the Grunert surveys on culture and think about how you could use those if you need teacher perceptual data as part of your CNA and OA. You may not at this point. I'm going to show you a short little presentation on school culture, rituals, and traditions that I have used in the past. I may have time to do this activity with you when we're together our second weekend. I don't know. In the meantime, if you would like to steal this presentation, I'd be happy for you too. Reminder that the full text of Mandelbaum, that used to be us, is due week 6. Wagner and Dintersmith, week 7. And I think we're going to be facilitating those textbooks in our 3rd session together. But you can see from my view that I've closed a couple of discussion boards this week. You do not need to respond to good to great. You probably don't. You do not see these assignments in your view and do not have to do them. I have closed some discussion board. A second discussion board about the CNA resource folder is closed. Now, I do want you to look at the OA resources here and to talk a little bit about your understanding of the SWOT, the PRIMO-F, and the PESTLE. And so that is a discussion board this week that you need to do along with the Grunert, your understanding of culture. So what about the OA resources? I think there's a teachable moment here that we should discuss. All right, let me see if I can handle my technology here. Okay, when you click on that link for the SWOT postal, pestle, you click on this link, you are going to, oh my goodness, I've messed it up. You're going to come here. The SWOT, Strengths, Weaknesses, Opportunities, Threats, is an analysis tool that you might be familiar with. You're encouraged, you are required to use it in your OA2. And in terms of internal and external forces, SWOT defines strengths and weaknesses as internal and opportunities and threats as external. Think again, you know, of a threat in terms of a charter school moving in down the street, and an opportunity of maybe you got a grant. You're now a Title I school, but that comes with a grant and some money and resources with it. That's an opportunity. It's called an external opportunity because it's coming from outside the school. Student achievement data, that kind of stuff is generated inside the school. It should be listed in as strength and or weakness. So things generated inside the school, again, internal factors. Now, what about, so everybody kind of has heard of a SWOT, maybe, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. PESTLE and these tools, which you're encouraged to look at, break down the factors that may be influencing your SWOT, in particular here, opportunities and threats in very specific terms. Give you an opportunity. Political. Are schools being privatized or taken over? Someone is at a school that is being, that's in our achievement district in North Carolina that's being taken over. That's a political threat or opportunity. Economics. So the PESTLE is political, economic, social. if schools are closing in your area, if the birth rate is down, if population is declining, then that is a threat. But maybe there's more social media and more connected folks who you can boost communication with your parents and in your community. Technological, legislative, environmental. Take a look at these, please. These are great resources for you. They are in the resource tab over on the left. It's SWOT, POSSL, and PESSL. Okay. Okay. That was an abrupt transition from PESSLs to culture, but I'm transitioning now to do a little bit of a mini presentation for you on school culture and some stuff that I have about rituals and traditions, getting you thinking a little bit about school culture. And love this little book. Please do take a look at it. What is culture? I love some of these definitions and this list. The social glue that holds people together, the way we do things round here. That's probably the best definition of culture that I've heard. Activity between the scenes or between the lines or behind the scene, what's really going on, what distinguishes us from them. You might have heard something in the news lately about culture wars. I hope it's not an us versus them, but describing the culture at your school is part of the OA. So, is it culture or is it climate? Chapter 2 in this little book. Great stuff. Ways to bust the culture. So again, most of our continuous improvement efforts in the EDCI program, your evidences, the work that you're going to do, is all about defining what is our current situation, what is our current reality, using data or words to define what is, looking at best practice, what would be a way to improve or to use this opportunity to its best effect, putting a plan in place to try to make an improvement, and looking at the results. It is a continuous improvement cycle, and knowing what is, knowing what culture is, and assessing the culture in your school would be step 1. So again, a short little presentation along with some materials that are in boy, this isn't going to work now. Oh. Sure. So here it is. Rituals and tradition, knowledge and tools. And I have done this as a workshop in schools. Please do feel free. This is copyrighted, but it's my work, and you can have it. So everybody knows about rituals, right? What name this ritual is what I would say to you if we were in class. Changing of the guard, right? Everybody knows there are certain rituals and traditions in schools and in all sorts of organizations that were very common. We're so aware of them that they just kind of wash over us. But rituals and traditions have a reason. The holiday season, the winter holiday, is full of cultural rituals and traditions. What rituals do you associate with Christmas, Hanukkah, or Kwanzaa? Again, if we were in class, and if you want to do this as a short presentation with your staff, you would engage folks at this point talking about Christmas or the rituals and traditions. This is a fun little exercise because everybody does things a little bit differently. The Palermo family, my mom, there was something about decorating the Christmas tree, and she wanted the whole family to come over on Christmas Eve and help to decorate the tree. And we would put the tree up in advance of Christmas, but we had to wait till the evening of the 24th in order to decorate the tree. And we did not exchange presents until Christmas morning. Anyway, every family does it different. I just heard about a family that the tradition is lobster for Christmas dinner. I don't know why, but everybody has a different tradition, and those are fun stories to share. Here are some rituals: dreidel, dreidel, Kwanzaa, candle ritual. Everybody has a different ritual about Thanksgiving, about the foods that you eat, about the for my wife's family, it's a a cranberry jello with marshmallows that has to accompany, not cranberry sauce, cranberry jello with marshmallows in it. I don't know. But that has to accompany the meal. Big meal followed by football where everybody falls asleep. And that's the ritual for us at Thanksgiving. Do you know this ritual? Mallory Square in Key West. It's a sunset celebration. Every night, the whole town gathers to imbibe, lift your favorite drink, and watch the sun go down. Okay. A ritual or tradition is a set of actions performed mainly for their symbolic value, may be prescribed in the culture's traditions, may be performed on specific occasions or by some individuals or community. We do have rituals in school too. What are some? Well, think about them. There are rituals of opening, an opening celebration, closing, graduation, commencement, rites of purification or worship, oaths of allegiance, right? Transition ceremonies. We do a lot of those in school. Kindergarten graduations, 5th grade graduations. Again, lots of rituals. Ask a coach. I bet there is some pregame ritual for most high school sports teams. I bet. Certain songs, certain dance moves that the guys do before they go out onto the floor. Anyway, lots of rituals and traditions in school culture. What are some others? The whole point of this little activity would be to assess the school culture and to get a handle on some of the traditions in your school now. So in this activity, we brainstormed. I gave out sticky notes and said one idea per sticky. Name and list as many rituals, traditions as you can for your school as quickly as possible. Then we had groups of folks put these together into an affinity diagram. Commencement ceremonies, celebrations for behavior, different types of rituals, opening ceremonies, closing ceremonies, achievement ceremonies, different rituals and traditions. Many of the lots of high schools have something special that seniors do on the first day of school. Then we shared those things, we charted them, and I encourage folks to report out and to share their best ideas and to steal their ideas. There are 2 handouts that are in the website that I would refer to, not going to spend lots of time on right now, but you're free to use again in your work. I summarized some of the literature about relational trust. Trust is acknowledged as an important factor in culture, and at any rate, if you want to use that with your staff, you're encouraged to do that. And a trust glass, which is a real simple, down and dirty way to assess school culture. If you think that your school is more toxic and that there's no trust, folks can shade it in, not put their name on it. You can pass these out at a faculty meeting. 40 folks all shade their trust glass and turn it back in, and you've got a measure of the temperature of the room. You have an idea how they feel about the level of trust in the room. So that's the purpose of the trust glass. Is it half full? Is it half empty? You decide. And next steps. I was encouraging folks to make a step, and it might be as simple as stealing an idea from that list of best practices, but to do something different. Use the trust glass to get the to take the temperature of your staff. Here's one final little example of a ritual that you're encouraged to steal if you like it. This is a tunnel of years ritual where this K-5 elementary school, on their last day of school for the 5th graders before they head off to middle school, all of the K-4 students. Now picture the little kindergartners, pint size, half the size of the 5th graders, holding up their arms, and then the 1st graders, a little taller, and then the 2nd graders, and the 3rd graders, 4th graders, and the 5th graders have to crouch way down to remember when they were little ones, and then make their way through the tunnel. It's touching. Okay, so again, you are encouraged to use this little PowerPoint, I guess, to supplement the school culture rewired, if you would like. Think about rituals at your school now that you might celebrate. What could you do to assess the school culture, and how could you improve? Use that if you can. Yes, you can shape the culture of your school. Okay, that's a lot this week, but I think I have touched on, oh, there's your APA tip for the week. I was just using this file, Mastering School Culture, to show you the my culture, rituals, and traditions presentation. Here's the trust glass. Uh, this is a PDF that, again, you may have. On relational trust in schools is a document that I created, and you can, again, have my permission to use that. Do you know that you are, as part of your teacher leader model standards, to be doing professional development with others and presenting to others? Please feel free to adapt this handout, this presentation, and do that with your staff if that's appropriate at your place. You don't have to go out and do that, but I'll be giving you things that you can use. You do have a discussion board post this week to respond to Gruner. How might you use that in your OA? You do have a discussion board to respond to the SWOT and the PRIMO and the PESTLE. Here's what I would do there. If, as you look through the SWOT and the PRIMO and the PESTLE, these look like documents that you can use in your OA, cut and paste them right away and show me in your discussion board what you plan to use. Okay? And then fill in the gaps. Complete that chart, answering the questions for your school. Anyway, use this stuff, please. Incorporate it right into your OA. That's all for this week. Again, we are in hurricane preparedness mode. Look for the Gardner Webb website to have notices about what's happening on campus. The fact that we are in a low-res, high online presence, please log in here, do as much work as you can. When the power goes down, I understand that. Get back up and running as quickly as you can. That's what I plan to do, and we're going to shelter in place here in Pittsburgh. I hope it's all clean and green and dry and safe in your neck of the woods. Take care. Call me. Write if you need anything. Thanks.